All right. So I sent the tweet. Tweet is out.
Okay.
Finally got it done.
I mean, honestly, that's the most important part of the week.
It is. It is. Well, at least I'm not doing it live during the intro this time.
Look, we're slowly getting better. Each week, we're working out all of the kinks.
We are professionals.
We're truly going to be professionals at some point, right? Like it's gotta be real, right?
Yeah. Maybe. No.
You said, "Oh no," that's not a good way to. Come on, man. We can't be going
start
into
the stream on. Oh no.
No, we can't start on. Oh no.
I'm worried I loaded up the wrong video.
Oh, okay. Maybe that is an oh no moment.
Well, maybe. Let me find out.
As he plays the video on the slide, and he's like, "It was wrong." All right, guys. 15-minute delay.
We need to re-render an entire video.
Don't worry, we are professionals. I
wonder what it says on our business cards. Our business cards say, yeah, it says professional businessman.
Listen, I wish I was that cool.
I've been talking with the microphone muted. Yeah, so all right. So we kind of went over we kind of went over the sequence of events. We'll do chat a little about the weekend. Then we'll revisit Singapore a little bit, and then bring in Zan near the end. It'll be super fun. And Jacob, Frank, and Earlmeister will join us in the middle. So plenty of cool folks.
It's going to be a good night.
I agree, even though I'm tired and I'm not on my actual computer, which is...
Who needs a real computer?
I know. All my assets are on my computer. So we'll see how it goes.
That's tricky.
Yeah.
See, this is the point where you really get to prove that we are professionals post.
That is true.
A lot on the fly today.
Yeah. But we'll make it work. Hopefully the chat's oh, Fungus is in the chat already. Hey. Look at that. People already hanging out. All right. All right. So I loaded up the video. I need to cut it off manually at the right time, and I'm gonna do it. So let's say we get the show on the road.
Let's have a great show, guys.
Right.
Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. Nailed it. Hey, Logan.
Hi.
I feel like I just saw you.
Because you did.
That's true. And I don't mean before the show hanging out in the green room. I mean in person.
And I mean, we had another great event at Charlie's Collectible Show. Genuinely, it's another one of those events that just kind of feels almost DLC-esque, where every time you show up, it's just a big party of friends and people you might not have seen for a minute. And this weekend, I mean, it was just the same, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a ton of fun. It is DLC-esque in that it is like this reunion, and then it also has its own vibe and its own history and its own, I don't know, lore almost, and also plenty of things to spend money on. I made several irresponsible purchases, both for myself and for other people, which I don't regret.
No, I mean, like, on that note, I really do have to watch myself when I'm at Charlie's, because there's so many cool knickknacks. Like day 2, R&B and I, like, we're just kind of floating around the vendors and looking around at stuff. You know, we're in the Christmas holiday spirit season, so just looking around at potential gifts for things, and I honestly think that there are some things you really are going to find only when you go to Charlie's at some of these vendors.
No, totally agree. Katie and I had a weird things challenge during the stream.
You told me about that.
Yeah, it was like we put a cap on it, $10, and we had one round where we were off, and the goal was to find the weirdest thing. And oh gosh, I don't know where it is. I found this vintage deck box. He called it a deck box, but like you press a button and it dispenses a card poorly. And it was made
like
in
a little
'99.
Pez dispenser thing, or
maybe it was a business card dispenser. That makes more sense. But it had like a little Pokeball looking thing on the front, even though it was definitely not official. I don't know. And then thanks, Scotty. And then Katie found a plush Gurgi.
No way.
Yeah, it's a little beanbag Gurgi from like the 90s. And I, in my head, thought that there's no way they ever made any sort of Black Cauldron merch.
Literally no shot. Like when the movie came out commercially, like it was a flop.
Yeah. And so no way they would invest money in that, but they did apparently. And she found a Gurgi that was official and licensed, and then happened to have a Labubu size Lorcana T-shirt that I think Hummingbird Lab Designs, maybe somebody really, really cool who is way more crafty than me, made, and she had it and she put it on him. And so Gurgi had a little Lorcana mascot shirt on, and it was genuinely hilarious.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah,
I've made it known that Black Cauldron is one of my favorite Disney movies, and the fact that there's any sort of official merch that I don't know about is wild. Because for the longest time, I've looked for all kinds of memorabilia from Black Cauldron, because there's not a lot, if any. Like you can find posters occasionally, but as far as like action figures or plushes, like they just didn't invest in the IP like at all.
Yeah. I've never seen anything. In fact, like if it was more popular, I'm sure they could have gotten the rights to publish versions of the books even and put like Disney covers on them. But nope. So yeah.
So I don't know if you're aware of like the old. I say old. It's like like in the I think it's like the 90s when they made when Disney was going through the Renaissance era. They made all of the old school Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella. Like all of them in books, Winnie the Pooh, and like they're like these beautiful hardback covers that are like pretty tall, like thin books, so you can read all the stories. And just the artwork on them is absolutely beautiful. I have all of them. Well, I say I have all of them. My mother has all of them at her house next to her big curio of Disney princess dolls that she started collecting back in like the early 90s. That would be what she did when she went to Disney. She would go to Disney Springs and find like they were all stylized, and by year they've kind of changed and evolved like what the princesses looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just another one of those pieces of like collectible Disney merch that when you get really into it and start getting in the nitty gritty, you're just like, wow, there's a lot of collectibles out there that people have really sunk time and money and effort into, and you wouldn't really know about it unless you knew about it. It's like the pen trading at Disney, right? Like not everybody's really savvy on that, but it's a huge market.
Yeah. This is random and related to it, but talk about all the different collectibles, the huge market. For a while I thought Disney must have some sort of like warehouse where they have like one copy of every piece of Disney merch ever.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Disney Vault has to be that, right?
I mean, it has to, right? But then I'm like, there's so much. Like, how do you? I can't. I don't know.
Because think of all the attractions in Disney World and Disneyland that used to be there and went away. Like they used to have Dinosaur, like the ride, A Bug's Life, like that whole. There's like a section that's now Toy Story Town. It's like Andy's Room. It used to be the A Bug's Life place, like where you'd go and there was like a 3D thing, and like it was interactive, so like your seats would like move around like bugs were crawling around under you. So like there's got to be something like that, or like all the stuff that used to be in Tomorrowland, right? Like all the kiosks and things like that. Like Cranium Command was an old ride that no longer exists. So like the animatronic, they still have pictures and things like that. There's like a story apparently that like I think his name was Bugsy. He was the facilitator for the ride, kind of like if you go to Star Tours where you have like C-3PO or like a droid that's showing you through the ride. Bugsy was like showing you through. They went through like the anatomy of the human body to help save somebody from being sick. But like that animatronic still exists. So I don't know. It's always fascinating to me to think about where those things go. Like the Abraham Lincoln that used to be in Disneyland. Like what happened to him?
Oh yeah.
He was like the first big animatronic that Disney made into the park. Is he still there? I don't think he is.
No, I don't know, honestly. But he's got to be somewhere, yeah. I agree. Sorry, there's shenanigans going on Twitch. Something about a photo, Zen, which I'm sure I'll see very soon.
You will.
So oh, Buzzy was stolen, or he was stolen.
That's right. Yeah, he actually was stolen.
Oh no. And never recovered, I guess. Poor.
As far as I know, or as far as the last I looked into it.
Oh man, he has the worst luck in life and in animatronic. I mean, I don't know.
Well, so like there was like a weird time in the Disney parks where you could do. There were places where they had kind of closed off because they were doing renovations and building on, because both Disney World and Disneyland have huge real estate properties, right? So when they decide something's decommissioned, they just kind of like section it off and kind of, and some points don't really put up a wall. They just kind of discourage people from going there. So most of the time that works. But a lot of people do like urban exploring. And that's how they found that's like the animatronic for Cranium Command was still just there. As people were doing these just like, backdoor Disney crawls back in like the early 2000s when it was cool.
I get it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I wondered how you get them out the gate, but
I mean, like if you're going to like an area where there's not a lot of people already, right? Like, I don't know, take a theory of like, okay, well, maybe they disguise themselves as a vendor because, in those places, it's not really unheard of to see like food vendors or something moving in and out. So maybe they just got him out and moved him. And there's the Gurgi. Why is it so fluffy though?
So Color's sending me this photo here from behind the scenes. There's a little Gurgi sitting there. It looks a little scary. He's got that wild hair, and I've got the deck box there. You can't really see it, but this is behind the scenes of Charlie's here. The closet looks good on camera, but it's a decent area, but fun. We're tucked away, and there it is. But there's Gurgi hanging out on Katie's shoulder, and he supported us throughout the broadcast for the rest of the day. So
I'm not gonna lie to you, I could see why they didn't make more of
it. he does not look great. Like, he's really funny.
Like, you first said it, and I immediately was like, I don't think Gurgi would, like, sure, he's the mascot of the movie, but I don't think he's like, it's not like a BB-8 or like a Cricky, right?
No.
Like,
no, you have to be a fan. Like, you have to be a big fan.
Like, you're not just carrying around a Gurgi the way you would like a Diablo or a Zazu. Like,
yeah,
it's just not the same.
Yeah, but nevertheless, fun weekend. Despite being in the closet, this closet, Color points out, was warmer than the second stream room. But we had a ton of fun seeing a lot of people. Before I ask you about your tournament run, I just want to shout out, a few folks. I kind of copied, and I'm full disclosure. Every time I'll say full disclosure, I did copy this from this idea from Lorcana Villain, but tweaked it. Villain has this thing where he wants people to give him Most Diabolical Schemes signed by them, and he's got a binder full. And I put out a call on Twitter the morning of Charlie's or before and said, hey, I kind of want to copy Baker's idea and have a binder full of cards signed by other people, because people ask me to sign cards sometimes, and it's kind of fun. But I also want to remember my experiences with other people. So Ezekiel here giving me a copy of Fairy Ship that he signed and wrote his name on the back of. And then I got another card here, Sergeant Tibbs signed. So it was really exciting to get some cards from fans. I really appreciated that. So I just love meeting cool people. And
yeah, I'm so terrible with names, and I apologize so much. But he came up and said hi to R&B and I. This was one of the coolest guys that I met all weekend.
Yeah, one of my favorite. I agree. One of my favorite moments. So just shout out to everybody who took the time to come say hello and say that they watch any of our stuff or watch the show. Means a lot every single time. So appreciate all of you.
It really does. Like, I don't know. We've used the word like donate volunteer time to, continue to do things. And it really is. And sometimes you can kind of get lost in the idea that like, oh, well, whatever we make or create, we just kind of put out into the void. No one really pays much attention. So when someone comes up and genuinely is like, hey, like, I really appreciate what you've done. I really appreciate listening to the things you guys talk about or just watching your content. It means a lot. It means way more than you know.
Yeah. Can't say it any better than that. There we go.
Oh, there he is. Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie
C.
Hey, Robbie C Gaming. The Cardinals team from Iceland. The Cardinals Lorcana team from Iceland. That's the joke. So appreciate you. Disc golf content creator. So if you're into disc golf, check out Robbie C Gaming. Does some great content there. So
fun fact, much harder sport than you would anticipate.
Yeah. Not Dan Quest, another fun person to hang out with this weekend. Another former Yu-Gi-Oh player from GOAT format moving over to Lorcana. It feels like the whole format is coming over here slowly. So we welcome all the GOAT format refugees over here in Lorcana. But yeah, so I do want to ask you about your tournament run. I do want to say for everybody watching, thanks for being here. If you have any questions or any notes from this week, there's so much to cover. We won't get to it all. We'll talk about Charlie's. We'll talk about some other stuff. We'll talk about some other news. And thanks for hanging out with us. If you have any questions, please chat with us throughout the show. That's why we do live shows instead of pre-recorded. And we will have some awesome guests coming on in the near future. We have a couple folks coming who went to DLC Singapore, including Earlmeister and the winner himself, Jacob Frank, DLC winner out there. And then near the end of the show, we'll have Zan himself joining us to talk about his CCQ win and his wild deck. So we have those folks coming on. So hang out, ask questions, tag your friends. Tell them to come on in. These folks are giving us their time. Jump on in, join us, hang out, ask questions. I don't know. All right. How was your tournament, Logan?
Oof.
Oh no.
No, my main event run was real rough. So like going into it, we did a lot of testing internally, and we were kind of split in the camp. I believe it was Sky, Sailor, and Wonder. We're all in the camp of Emerald Sapphire is just the deck for the weekend. It does really well into every Amethyst deck. It has one of arguably probably the most powerful thing you can do in the game right now, which is essentially Sisu, one-sided board wipe that just takes control of the game for you. And then R&B, Humble, and I were kind of in another camp. We're like, well, no, we think Blurple actually is the pick for the weekend. And Bannable also was on that train with us. Kurt, as always, was like, no, guys, everybody just needs to play dogs and like you'll do much better. And we were like, Kurt, you're much better than all of us at dogs, and that's why you think that. So so Sky, Wonder, and Sailor, had he gone, were all on Emerald Sapphire, about the same, I believe about the same 60. They all settled together. And Humble, Bannable, R&B, and I all had slightly different variations of Blurple that we liked, just different deck cards and things. I genuinely think that the ink pairing was good for day one, given what the field was. There was a lot of Ruby Amethyst. There was a lot of Amethyst Steel.
A lot of Amethyst Steel.
So I felt really good about it. But R&B, who ended up bringing Sapphire Steel, because it's R&B, and it just happens to be, I mean, a fairly decent pick right now, honestly. Like if you hit the right matchups and just get what you need, you're just gonna do well. I mean, it won the event the weekend before, but R&B and I just kind of had a day of like, wow, our deck does not want to cooperate. I mean, I think he and I individually went 5 games apiece in a row where we did not see turn 2 ramp.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. The odds of that, are you running 8 or 9?
8.
I mean, the odds are what, 91%?
Yeah, it's like it's like 91, 92%. I mean, just getting to the points of like, we're mulling 7 and just not finding it consistently, and we're just like, all right, cool. Like this is how the day's gonna go. Like I ended up playing lamb chops in, I think it was round 3, round 4, and we went to game 3. I missed ramp on all 3 games, and somehow like I was on the play, so I ended up winning the first game somehow. Game 2, I mean, he just did Amethyst Steel. Wasn't really flashy, but like, he played really well. Got the cards he needed and just blew me out. Game 3, if I had found ramp, it was a completely different game, but I didn't on my last on the play game, and just kind of similar to game 2, he just curved out really well, found everything he needed, played Demona and refilled, and I was like, all right, well, that happens. Day 2 went significantly better for me. I think I started off the day going 4-0. And then after that, I just kind of fell off the wheels again. It was just all of a sudden like, oh, well, you're just not going to find ramp again consistently forever. And that was just kind of the I guess you could say key mark of the whole weekend for me. My deck just consistently was like, you just aren't going to get to do the thing. And also your opponent is going to get to do the thing all the time, every game. I played a lot of wonderful people over the weekend, though. Like, don't get me wrong. I met a lot of great people. I mean, Colors, I'll just pointed out the one woman I played in day 1. I forget her name. I feel so bad. But genuinely, like, amazing Blurple player, was playing fantastic. Like, all my opponents played very, very well. Like, don't let me saying like, oh, I missed ramp and that's it. Like, no, all my opponents played really, really well. Like, all of them genuinely deserved the wins that they got on me. There were a few times I felt like I was outplayed for sure. Just given the resources that I had and things that I was looking out for. But yeah, I mean, we talk about sometimes like, man, it's just not your weekend. You look at players like DKP, Zach Bivens, even Sailor, and no one tends to remember the times where they just kind of go like 0-3 drop.
Yeah.
Because they have such high highs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there have been CCSs where, Zan himself, Zan, the winner of the CCQ this weekend, he's gone 0-3 drop. I'm just like, all right,
Yeah.
we'll just go next. Zach Bivens has made Twitter posts. I think it was after one of the Southside events. He was like, I went 0-3 drop today. Like, sometimes it's not your day. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I think Zan didn't make top cut last CCS. I don't think.
Nope.
Had a rough time.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes your day, sometimes it's not. But it always is. We talk about Charlie's all the time, and it's almost cliche for us at this point to say it's a stacked field and it's a tough room, but it is.
Like, it really is.
The number of golden Mickeys in there are incredible, and even if you just watch the streams, there are some of the best Lorcana you'll ever see. On the Charlie streams from this last weekend. And if you have some time this week and you're wondering, you're looking for some extra Lorcana content to consume, and you didn't get to watch the stream this weekend, pick a few matches to watch. You can watch Diego Saz running dogs. Diego was the first seed going into the top cut and lost in a dog mirror, oddly enough, to a fantastic player, which was a lot of fun. You got Tiago and Purple Steel. You got to see the crazy combo deck, which we're going to talk about later. There's a great Amethyst Steel burn deck, Amethyst Emerald burn deck, which is a ton of fun to watch. So just a room full of some fantastic players, some really creative decks. And it's no surprise that even the best players, sometimes have a rough day there because it's a stacked room.
Yeah. Speaking of, there's a lot of Emerald Amethyst in the room both days.
Yeah.
And each day, like, it was doing well. Like, Zach Bivens' first loss, he, like, after each round, I think it was like me, Tiago, Zach, Sky, Wonder, we'd all just kind of like huddle up and like, all right, guys, how you doing? And Zach was like, I just lost to like a $15 deck.
Yeah.
There's an Emerald Amethyst, like, he was like, it was just like burned, and I just lost on turn 5 both games. I was like, you good, man? He was like, I didn't think it was real, so it couldn't hurt me, and yet here I am.
You can't hurt me if I don't believe in it. And it punches you in the face. Yeah, the thing about Emerald Amethyst, there was a surprising number, and there were 3 different builds that I identified. One was the burn variant, which I think was inspired by Spessie's deck in the LCCC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the second was it looks like Tempo to me, but people are calling it Brainiac, and I don't know what makes it Brainiac, but it just looks like Emerald Amethyst Tempo, like a new version of that. But somebody will have to explain that for me. I know
you're talking about the bigger one, right?
Yeah,
the one that just goes big with Big Clarabelle and the Prince. So like they call it Brainiac. I forget who it was that originally made the deck. I believe it was in
It's highlighted
Bologna.
on Ink Decks. Yeah.
I think it was in Bologna. It was like one of the first times we saw that. They built the deck specifically to target Blurple in the Fable meta.
Keel,
and it does that really, really well.
Kyle Duggar, is that the player?
Possibly.
I don't know. Ink Decks is highlighting it on the top. If you search for Brainiac, that's who comes up.
Yeah. But like, so I genuinely think like one of the first times we thought, people are saying it's Justice's deck. Which
Justice's deck? Okay.
But like, so I don't know where the name comes from, but it was a deck that was made to target Blurple in the Fable meta, and it does that so well. If you pair into Sapphire with that deck specifically, you kind of just run over them. I mean, it's just insanely powerful against Sapphire. It does everything you want to do to punish everything they're trying to do to gain advantage states. And this set, it just got even stronger into Sapphire when we have Webby, because now we can use that to just ramp up to the Malicious Mean and Scary Prince Philip combo, or Big Clarabelle and just draw a bunch of cards, or play Bend to My Will. Now you have no card advantage, and I've built up my board. So yeah, while it is kind of a mid-rangey deck, it's the Brainiac version, because it's just that's the build of the deck.
Yeah. People asking on anybody got Spessie's deck. I don't know if the CCS decks have been posted. I'm sure Spessie has a link somewhere. But I do have the contact information for the gentleman running it at CCS, and I'm going to pull it. And contact him. So ping me in a little bit, or jump in the Illumiteers Discord server, which you can find in the show notes, and ask there, and I will get a copy for you all shortly, and maybe do a deck tech in the near future. So, yeah, if you're looking for that burn deck, jump in the Discord, send me a note. Yeah, so there was that version, and then Robert from World Class Cards was running a version that I don't know how good it is, but it ramps and it ramps and it ramps, and then it and it uses Chromacons and stuff to draw you both cards, and then it Bend to My Wills you. So it just ramps into Bend to My Will and then crushes you, and that was his deck. So there was another Emerald Amy running around. So we got to see it on stream. So
maintains one of my least favorite cards in the game forever.
Bend to My Will?
Yes, I absolutely despise Bend to My Will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I'll play against Bucky discard all day long if I never have to see Bend to My Will in my life ever again.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, it's a mean card, but at least it's uninkable. I guess small consolation.
The one saving grace,
right? But yeah, it was a really fun meta, and I couldn't get a read for the room, and I don't think we've seen a breakdown from the main tourney. It did feel like it was if I had to pick the majority deck, it did seem like Amethyst Steel was the majority in the room, but followed closely by blue.
I think it was Emerald Sapphire.
You think Emerald Sapphire? I was gonna say followed by Blue Green, but
yeah, I think it was Emerald Sapphire.
You think that was more popular than Amethyst Steel?
No. I think it was Amethyst Steel, then Emerald Sapphire.
Oh, Emerald Sapphire. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? Dogs is in the top 4. And the other
third was probably Blurple, if I had to guess.
Blurple. Yeah. Although Blurple converted terribly.
Yeah, only one in top 16.
Yeah, just not its day. Getting eaten by a variety of things. Getting eaten by Zan, running around with his.
Yeah, dude. The just I win deck.
Yeah.
I'm at 0 and you're at 16. Too bad.
Yeah. Just silliness. So yeah. So I think the meta was largely what people would have predicted. There was a surprising number of Amber Steel. Even just a handful I was surprised by. I saw several, and I know somebody I was talking to played 2 in Swiss, which was kind of crazy to me. Didn't hear of any Circle of Life dogs, just a lot of classic dogs. I'm sure there were some there, but I was surprised that nobody was running that version. I
personally think the Chromacon version is just more consistent.
I think so too. I think so too. I just think I don't know, Circle's fun, and I don't know.
No, I think it's fun, but I think kind of again, Charlie's being like the room it is, and the CCQ and the DLCS. I think we're going to see people pick the more consistent, probably stronger decks in general. And I think the consensus is that Chromacon, on average, is more powerful than the Circle of Life variant. So I'm not surprised by that. I did run into a Chromacon build and day one. Yeah, I think it was day one. Absolutely got smashed. Like she absolutely like just 1, 2, 3 Chromacon more characters, and I'm like, yeah, like both games. I'm just like, this. I can't stop it. You just like you're at 16 by turn 5, and I can't clear anything because then I lose my board.
Right.
Wonderful player, but like I don't know. Watching a good dogs player is still just, I don't know. It's like magic in some ways. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep. I agree. And people, I even in the chat on Twitch, people continue to say like the dogs is it's aggro, it's easy to pilot, whatever. It's not. It is not.
I would argue that dogs is one of the hardest decks to alter correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very like your alter is very, very, very matchup dependent. It's not something like Blurple where a lot of the time it doesn't really matter if you're on the play on the draw. Your alter's kind of looking the same. Dogs change dramatically depending on what your matchup is.
Yeah, totally agree. But if you want to watch it, you can watch Diego pilot it this weekend. Ton of fun. Last thing before we bring on our first guest. The other deck that I was surprised didn't crack 1 or 2 in the top cut at all was Ruby Amethyst.
It was close.
Was it? How close was it?
So I think it was round 6. There was still a couple like at the top tables. I watched Sky against one Ruby Amethyst build. He was on Emerald Sapphire, and he just like he needed to find exactly Malicious, Mean, and Scary to win the game, and he dug, I kid you not, 15 cards to find it between Develop Your Brain, Vision of the Future, and was just chaining them together to find it. Very, very close. Like had he not found exactly like one more dig card, I mean, the set was just in the favor of the Ruby Amethyst player all the way, and like very likely could have seen him in top cut. But I don't think it was a bad pick for the weekend. Absolutely not. I just think they hit some bad variants. I think maybe just like 1 or 2 cards off, just in key moments is what kept Ruby Amethyst from topping.
Yeah. Well, let's ask somebody else's opinion about this. Somebody who is always plugged into the meta, always making fun content, now plays for the uber competitive team Rare Hunters out of I was about to say out of Europe, but no, they're out of everywhere, the whole world.
Yeah.
And somebody who I appreciate very much because early on in our content journey and early on in his content journey, he had us on his podcast, which was super well edited, and I cherish that memory very much. So let's welcome in the ultra megatonic Earlmeister. Earl, how you doing? Earl, you're muted.
Oh no, you're muted. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh wait, that was something.
Can you hear me?
Can hear me
now.
There
we go. Hi.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Speakers set to the.
I'm not on my regular studio, so yeah, the audio is probably not so great.
It is fine. It is.
No,
fine.
That sounds fine.
Also, what time is it? It's super late there.
It's 2:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness, you're a hero.
For,
you're my hero.
For Illumineers, I can always stay up, of course.
Oh. Exactly. Because what else are you doing on a Monday morning, Tuesday morning?
Sleeping usually.
Yeah, I was about to say, hold on. My general phrase is like, what are you doing on a Monday night? But it's well past that for you, man.
Yeah. Always good to see you, Earl. Always good to hang out for a little bit. Did you catch Charlie's this weekend at all?
Yes, of course. I mean, my teammate Zan is there, so I had to show support. I didn't get to watch the whole thing from time to time. I tried to hop on, especially during the top 8, because it's my wife's birthday on Sunday.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so I need to do that, otherwise she's gonna kill me, but or banish me.
Yeah.
We vanish.
Yeah. I don't know. So what'd you think of what you saw of the meta, of some of the decks you saw, like, or even just Zan's crazy win? Like, what's your big takeaway?
I knew it was coming because
Yeah.
the thing is, when we were recruiting Zan, part of our process in Rare Hunters is that we always have to meet people first personally. I've been friends with Zan for a while now, so I know him, and I'm the one who brought him in and recommended that we should pick him up when he left WCC. So when he went to Austria to meet the owner and the community and the teammates, he brought the deck. And at the time, me and him were testing it. We played probably like 30, 50 games of it, and the deck was amazing. But I was playing Purple Steel. And then we tested it with other decks, and I'm not going to share too much details because that's not for me to share. And then we realized that it had a weakness, and it kind of sort of became a meme deck. I think Zan mentioned that in the interview. But last weekend, while we were hanging out in Singapore, on the way back to the hotel, I think we bought some groceries and stuff. It's like, this is after the DLC. He's like, I'm gonna bring Amber Amethyst. I honestly think that its time is now, and I'm gonna win CCS with it. And I'm like, let's do it. In the back of my head, I believe in Zan, but at the same time, last time we tested this Zan, there was some weakness, and hopefully those weaknesses are gone. And he got back to the hotel. First thing we did, Jacob, me, Zan, and Nathan was rooming together. The first thing he did was bring out the deck. It's like, Jacob, get your Blurple out. Let's test this. So they put a suitcase on top of the bed, and then a Cinderella playmat, and there it is. There's a picture. And then they just started testing while we're hanging out, and Jacob can't win a game against him, and we're like, oh crap, like this deck, it's its time. And yeah, next thing you know, Zen is on top 8 or top 16, then top 8, top 4 finals, and he was unbeatable.
Yeah. You say unbeatable. The funny thing about his run, he loses round 1. And I asked him in the interview, I'm like, is that, you bring this deck in, it's a wild card deck, you think it's its moment, but you bring it in and you lose round 1. I was like, did you have this feeling like in that moment that, oh, I've made a terrible mistake? And he's like, nah. He's like, no, he's like, I knew I got it. I'm like, okay. I mean,
yeah. I mean, like, we can go back. How many legendary runs can we just think of? Like, oh, well, they went 0-2 and then just fired off the rest of the event. Just kind of reminiscent of this, right? He believed in it. He clearly saw the strength in the meta that he was coming into to target it well. And I mean, it performed.
Honestly, Zan is one of the best meta shot caller that I've ever met in any card game that I've ever played. And he did the same during Milwaukee. Unfortunately, he bubbled out. He got unlucky and faced a couple of purple steel with his dogs. And it's not just regular purple steel players. One of them was Kyoshi, and Kyoshi is an amazing player. So that was pretty hard. If a purple steel knows the matchup, it's going to be really hard for you as dogs. And he went like 1-2 to 10-2. Like if anyone's going to do it, like Zen is one of those people that can just like, okay, I got to lock in. I can't lose anymore.
Yeah, it's like a little wake up call, like, missed the morning coffee, and that gives you that shot of adrenaline. No, it was really fun to watch. So we're going to talk a little bit more about CCS later. I do want to rewind a little bit though, to last. So here's the thing: Lorcana news moves so fast. Like Singapore was just a week ago, and it already feels like, with CCS happening, that it's older news. But
feels like a month ago at this point. But like,
I know, right? But I do want to ask you about your experience in Singapore, because it was the first DLC in Singapore. You traveled halfway around the world to get there. You got to, I think, probably the first big event where you had the preponderance of the team together, I think, and then one of your teammates took it down. What was Singapore like overall?
It was amazing, honestly. From the team's perspective, it was amazing from the beginning because the country was really really cool. The weather is amazing, food is amazing, and we got to hang out a lot and do different stuff, you know. And for the team, yeah, it was great. We started off really well during the side events on Friday. A few of us went undefeated with it. The next day, the whole team did amazing. Personally, for me, the trip was a lot of fun, but really tough as well. Right before I left Austria. I had a call from my wife, and there was some personal things going on with our family that I'm gonna keep private, of course. But everything is good. It's just one of those things. Like, let's just call it the circle of life kind of thing. And that was in the back of my head, so it was hard to focus. But I just kept praying. Honestly, I was praying. I'm like, let me do this so I can help with what was going on. Let me do this for my family, and I knew it was my meta too. I'm a purple steel player. I play a lot of different colors, but purple steel is one of my forte, and I knew that this is my DLC. Like, I'm gonna do really well. Either I'm gonna top or win the whole thing. And days before that as well, I had a call with Zan. I was having trouble of like which version of Purple Steel I'm gonna play, and then Zan told me like, dude, why are you asking me? Like, I'll share my Purple Steel list with you, and look at the other stuff, but you have thousands of hours with Purple Steel, and you can build your own deck what you think would be good and believe in yourself. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I got this list with my signature card. Burgermeister is what they call it in German, which is the mayor wind dancer.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
I love the card. If it was inkable, I would probably run 10 million of this in my deck. And yeah, and I just kept going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So the thing I thought the most, like, it feels very Frank Karsten-esque, right? Like a lot of one-ofs, a lot of texts that are in there just as a splash. Was there something that was a one-of that like overperformed, or something that you maybe had wished you had more of now that you
Mayor Wind
have gone through
Dancer.
the event? Oh, just
Yeah. If this card was inkable, like what I said, I would run more. The only thing that's preventing me from running this card was it's that it's an inkable. I faced Federico Micocci in top 32, and I was on the draw. I dropped this on turn 4, and it was like, oh crap, that thing is huge. And I'm like, I know. And it won me the game. It's amazing in the mirror, and we predicted that there's going to be a lot of purple steel, and we were right. Because purple steel is just amazing at the moment until Zan brought the Ember Amethyst and wrecked purple steel, of course.
Oh no. That's
yeah.
interesting. So, and his name is Burgermeister, you say, and
Yeah.
because that's better.
It's
That's better than
pronounced
our
as
name.
Burgermeister.
Burgermeister.
But we can call it Burgermeister, like Ravensburger.
Well, man, just from a competitor standpoint, obviously you're someone that we have watched for a long time. You're someone that, anybody who's competitive has always seemed like, oh yeah, I mean, Earl does really well. He's just kind of always right there. He does, he's not quite there, but he's right there. I mean, obviously we've all had the moments of like, I'm about to get there. What was your feeling in top 64, like going into top 32? I mean, were the nerves hitting you harder? Were you just like, did it start becoming real in that moment? Or were you just kind of like, no, I knew this was going to happen. I absolutely had like not shaken at all. Like, what was going through your head when you finally made the top?
Yeah. So the thing is that people in Lorcana knows me in Lorcana, but they've never known me like outside of Lorcana. And I've been doing this for a few years now, where I compete in different card games, and I topped before on other card games before. So the nerves is not really there, but the emotions is really high, because it's like what you said. Everyone in Lorcana knows me as that I'm right here. I haven't joined the top dogs yet, and deep inside it bothers me, but at the same time I don't let it bother me, because I'm like, how would they know what I got when I spent my whole career in season 1 creating content and not really competing, right? So when because I need to pay the bills, and truth is, competition, no matter how good you are, you can have a whole season of losing. It's a card game.
Yeah.
And I chose the route of content creation because that's what pays the bills, and I have a family. So in season 2, I'm like, in the beginning, I told my team, I told the owner, I'm gonna show the world what I have. I dropped Riftbound and other content plans because I wanted to focus on this. So going into top 64, there was pretty much zero nerves that I felt. Once I got started in a tournament, the nerves usually happens before the tournament starts. And when it starts, you're a musician, Stanley. I used to be a musician as well. It's like that 5-10 seconds before you play your first song, where the nerves is super high. And when the first notes and the first beat of the drum starts, it's all gone. You're in the stage and you're there to perform. And that's exactly how I felt. But like what I said, the emotions was very high. I cried when I got to top 64. I was walking out to get some air and I started crying. I was with my teammates and I'm like, okay, the first step of proving that I can be there has happened. But I cried even more when I beat Federico on top 32 and knew that I got the invite. I was in front of him. A lot of people were watching us. The moment he shook my hand, I looked down, I started tearing up, and I just did this scream of like, "Whoa, let's go!" And I was just so excited, and yeah, it was amazing.
No, that's awesome. I mean, my Milwaukee run was somewhat similar, right? Like, day one ended up being undefeated, and like at the end of the day, I got back to the Airbnb and like I just started crying because I was like,
yeah,
we're almost there. So like, just actually getting there, I absolutely understand. I mean, we've seen people absolutely just become messes on stage. I mean, Zach Bivens, when he got his Worlds invite, like, just I think that's a legendary moment we can all look back on stream. Just like there's a real humanizing element that I don't think a lot of people take into account. I mean, just the hours of work that it takes for any of us who are competing. And when you finally have the payoff for that, I mean, it's just like a wave of relief just kind of gets lifted off of your shoulders that I don't think everybody really appreciates the amount of pressure you put on yourself before you go into these things.
Yeah, we were testing for 12 to 15 hours days before. We were testing before, but days before our flight to Singapore, we were testing for 12 to 15 hours. On top of that, I have my job and my family. I got home and my wife asked me if I'm okay, if I was okay. I'm like, it's a lot. Like, yeah, I'm not stressed out. I'm not whining, but it just feels like everything has been a lot lately. And I took a breather. And then the next day on the flight, when we got there, I ate so much food that I'm like, you know what? I feel much better now. I'm ready for the competition.
It's funny how much food will solve some of that, some of those woes. But no, I think this is it's a good point. Like what both of you were talking about is like, if you put the work in, and you want it badly enough, like your time will come. The TCGs are a game of variance, and you especially if you only manage to get tickets to a few big tournaments or travel to a few big tournaments a year, don't get discouraged if there are stretch as you go and you don't get the results you want, if you keep working at it, eventually your time will come, and all of that hard work will be evident and manifest, and yeah. So I don't know, perseverance matters, and work matters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's something Earl, I'm sure you can personally attest to. There are days where you just go 0-3 and you're just like, I mean, happens.
So many things have to align in a big tournament for you the right way before you can actually get it. Because number one, like the draws, of course, it's like what you guys were discussing earlier. Sometimes you just can't find blue on 2, even if you shift 7 cards back. Yeah, I bet you that even if you draw 14 after that, there's a chance that you're not going to find that blue on 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's just the way card games work. And it's like what you said, Liam, like you have to understand all these things, and you just got to keep pushing. And if you practice hard enough and you prepare hard enough, when the stars actually align for you, you just have to make sure that you deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about legendary runs all the time. A lot of the people who top or win DLCs and get to those points, obviously there's a lot of skill involved. I mean, no one doubts that. It's in the deck building, it's in the type play throughout the day, but you put yourself in the position to take advantage of the luck when it comes, right? Sometimes you don't find your 1-drop. Sometimes you don't find blue on 2. That's a much better phrase than what
I
was
like
using.
that. I'm stealing that.
Absolutely. Earl Meister trademarked.
Yep.
But like you're saying, like while the stars do have to align, yes, you have to put yourself in the position for the stars to align, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So one question for Singapore. We've asked everybody. How was one game format? What do you think?
So, probably the wrong person to ask, because my content revolves around one game format. I did so much of it in Pixelborn, Pixelborn Connect, that I am so used to best of one, and I actually tech my deck a lot for my content to be able to, okay, this doesn't wreck this deck anymore, but I made other matches closer. And that's like what the Mayor Wind Dancer is. Mayor Wind Dancer sucks in other matchups. It's just too slow. But I made my deck where, okay, I'm not gonna lose to purple steel, or there's a small chance that I'm gonna lose to purple steel if I run cards like this in my deck. And yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Obviously, I was scared because it felt very gambly. But once the game started, I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for like 2 years. Like, why am I so scared? Like, I go like 10-0 in Pixelborn sometimes in best of one format. And honestly, I know a lot of people look down on Pixelborn Connect, but to me, that's like my favorite gym to go to. That's where I work out. And sometimes you get to work out with really good players. And in a DLC, most likely it simulates like, I mean, the PBC simulates kind of like a DLC feel for you on a best of one, because you'll play against like maybe 3, maybe 4 sometimes on a good day against really good players, and the other 6 is against mediocre players. And sometimes a DLC feels like that, where the first few rounds are like that if you get lucky and not get paired against like an ultra megatonic player, of course.
Yep.
And then you just have to win those like 3-4 games against really good players.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. Oh, I mean, that makes sense if it's something you're used to, and yeah, I can understand. How would you have changed your deck at all, or the deck you're playing, or your tech, if you were doing a best of 2 or best of 3 instead?
100%.
Yeah.
Like the deck that I brought was not for best of 3. It was for best of 1. There are some changes. The thing about best of 3 is, with deck making, in my opinion, there's risk that you can take. that can make your deck really good in some matchups, right? Because you kind of have to play it safe when it's best of one format. For example, I played one dock because I'm not sure if you guys seen my game in Cardiff. My win and in for day 2 on the CCQ, I bricked the 2 games that they broadcasted, and I drew 3 docks on my games in the start of the game. And I'm like, okay, I'm not letting that happen on the best of one format. So I went for 1 dock instead of 3, and I'm like, I'm going for Demonas instead. So I have the draw, and I'll add in another gargoyle there, Goliath, for extra draws as well. And I just had to make sure that the route to Demona and Goliath was strong enough, so those cards will always be in my favor if I play them.
It's interesting because I did notice the one of Doc, and I was like, that seems unusual. I'm not saying other people don't do that, but that seems like more people want to find at least one a game. But that makes complete sense, because if you throw a game because your Doc's clump or whatever, or you brick because you get 3 in the opening hand, you can come back in a 3 game, but here, you lose a game in best of 1, and that hurts a lot.
Yeah.
That makes
If
sense.
Doc did that to you, and usually they come in pairs. We all know that the dogs come in pairs.
A clinic of
Dog
docs.
does beget dogs every time.
Yep. You either find none or all of them. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just written in the stars at this point. Like they're either none or all together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so annoying. It is true. It is true. Well, yeah. Any other thoughts from Singapore? Any other big moments, big observations? Seeing the community out there enjoying the game.
I would have to say that the community is amazing. Definitely a whole different community in the DLC in the West. Usually people ask you for photos and autographs, but there people only ask for photos, and not that it matters to me, or they want to chat with you, like at least from my experience. Also, I wanted to highlight that a lot of people think that there's not a lot of like skill expression to best of 1, but if you look at the top 64 of DLC Singapore, it was freaking stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Ed was on the top, Federico was on the top, DKP was on the top, Thiago is on the top. 8 rare hunters are on the top 64, and there's a lot of other names that was on the top. It was super freaking stacked, and that kind of shows you that okay, there is skill expression because these players are skilled. I doubt that it's all luck that got them there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we talked about last week when we were talking. I mean, just going over the format in general. There's a way you have to approach best of 1 that's just significantly different than a best of 3 or best of 2 event. And I genuinely feel like the best people in the room that tried to take advantage and capitalize on the format and really build decks to attack that format. And that's what we saw in the Top Cut. So, I mean, it's like we talk about all the time, right? The preparation and the time beforehand, like the deck building is the beginning of the tournament, not the actual round 1.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely it definitely starts in the deck building, and then the what do you call this? The meta prediction. What the meta is going to be. It was actually super wild. Our prediction is going to be it's going to be an aggro meta, and a lot of purple steel to counter aggro. And then there's people like Jacob who will prey on the purple steel players. But out of my Swiss round, so I played 6. I only ID'd once, because I got a draw early on against a purple steel player, which, by the way, I want to talk about after I finish what I was going to say. because I think it's funny, but also annoying, and at the same time, it's an issue in the community, in my opinion. So yeah, everyone that I played against was either blue decks or purple steel, and then I played against Albert, the judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing red purple burn. And
Okay.
I'm like, what the heck am I playing against?
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew exactly how to play the matchup because of it's no different from other burn decks. Purple steel is heavily in favored in those match. But what I was gonna say is that on round 3, after my match, I got upset. I didn't show any of it on my opponent, but I should have called out my opponent because he was playing very slow. And I did this afterwards. I asked, there was a moment where I asked DKP, especially Federico, that because they were taking 60-70% of the clock. And it's
Mm.
unfair for me, right? I don't want to draw. I want to finish the match. But on game 3, there's this guy. He's a pretty good looking guy, to be fair, and he was so stylish. But man, he's like a DJ. Like he was doing so many of this, but not really pressing any buttons or doing anything. And I wanted to like ask. I thought we had enough time to like finish, but I should have asked him to play faster. But he was just doing this, but he wasn't doing anything, and I'm like, inside I'm like this, but I'm like, okay, it's early on. Even if you draw this, you can still come back. And then after that, I got some air. I calmed myself down, and I said that okay, from here on, I'm gonna politely ask my opponents if they can play faster if I sense that they're playing too slow. And I think it's okay to do that in a DLC or any major tournaments, honestly, as long as you do it politely. And that's exactly like what I did with Federico when he was doing that. I'm like, uh, we're gonna hit time if we keep playing at this pace. We gotta pick it up.
Yeah. I think it's one of those small things for sure that not everybody advocates for themselves in moments where they feel uncomfortable, right? I genuinely feel like there are some people that don't take advantage of judge calls when they feel like something that's unfair is happening. So, I mean, no, a very important point to touch on. If you feel like there's something, maybe not even malicious, but something like, hey, this person's playing a little slowly. I genuinely don't think everybody that is playing a little bit slowly is being malicious. I genuinely do think there are a lot of people that are just, it's a high stress moment. They're big events. They're really trying to take their time through events. But I mean, pace of play is something that you can absolutely call out. So, I mean, it's just like you're saying, as long as you're not being like, hey, can we like,
exactly.
As long as you're not being rude about it, I'm sure like genuinely anybody that I've ever talked to about it is like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize. And like, they'll naturally just kind of increase in pace. But no, excellent thing to bring up for sure.
Yeah, the top 64 matchup I got was the same. Very nice person, and I had to call him out. I said, "Can we pick it up and play a bit faster?" And I sensed that he got a little pressured by that. But later on, we shook each other's hand, and he even made a tweet like it was really nice playing with Earl Meister, very nice guy, and all this, despite of me like calling him out. So it's totally fine to call them out. Just call them out politely.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, totally agree. It's good advice. I can't wait to see your video on it, Earl. But we are going to rotate through some rare hunters here tonight. Earl, I have to say it is always a pleasure, always a treat. You are one of the very first people that did an interview with us early on. I said it before, I'll say it again, and I will always treasure that. And I was very excited to see you join, a competitive team, and I was even more excited to see you get that invite to Continentals and finish at the top there in Singapore, win that Golden Mickey, because it just feels right. So congratulations. Any closing thoughts before we say goodbye for the night?
I just want to follow up on what you said before I do some shout outs. Yeah, the moments back in the days, I will forever treasure as well. You going into my podcast, I'm very, very, very thankful for you guys doing that, because at the time I was just starting in Lorcana, and you guys gave me a chance, and I just want to cherish this moment of how far. My English is running out. How far we've come? Is that how you say it in English?
Yeah.
English is my second language. That I'm so happy that we all found success in this game. I honestly am. Other than that, I just want to shout out number one, my wife. I won't be able to do this without her. She's so supportive, and she lets me do all of this for my work. She stays home with our daughter, and our daughter's development has been amazing, and she's so healthy and happy because of my wife. So big shout out to Mrs. Meister, and also I want to shout out my team, of course, because of number one, the owner Alex. He's amazing. He's the reason why all of us in Rare Hunters are able to do this. The project has been unreal, honestly, and he believes in all of us. And on top of that, he's just a really, really nice guy. And of course, my teammates who keeps helping me improve and are calling me out when I'm messing around. So thank you for keeping me in the direction that I should be going. I tend to mess around here and there, but it's just part of my nature. But yeah, thank you very much for having me tonight. I appreciate you guys so much.
No, I appreciate that. If you're not watching Earlmeister and his streams and him playing on Pixelborn Connect, you really should. And also, I hear he's a pretty good coach as well. So definitely check him out. Earl, give our best to your family, and we'll do this again soon if you're willing to stay up there.
Of course, and to your family as well. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
take it easy. Have a good night, Earl.
Have a good night.
Oh, I would. There's never a good time. There's never a good time.
Never a good time.
But I do want to rotate through Rare Hunters. We have to bring in another guest real quick. We've got to bring in the winner of Singapore right before we bring in Zan. We're going to have them together. We're going to have both. See, all the Rare Hunters love hanging out together. But we are going to bring in the winner of Singapore first and welcome Jacob Frank to the show, who's also up super late. Jacob, how you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm doing great, thanks.
Yeah, the trophy's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah.
I need to show it off for the camera, right?
That's true. I have said, you know how like museums loan things places? I've always said I can make room on my shelf if anybody wants to consign something here for a little while before. But no, that's super cool. Congratulations on an amazing win. How does it feel to be a DLC winner?
I mean, I'm still over the moon. Kind of, it's still unbelievable. Like I've set myself a goal for the season to get the European invite. After joining Rare Hunters, my goal became to get multiple continental invites. But winning the DLC with actually the first DLC I'm being on the team is like, yeah, it's still like amazing, a dream come true.
I was literally about to say,
still can't believe it. Yeah,
I was literally about to say. I mean, you go with the goal of like, okay, Continental's invite is the first goal, and now you're just like, okay, cool. I guess I'm just going to Worlds casually. I mean, yeah. So genuine question, because you know, as a competitor, I also have a list of goals for the season. Like, all right, this is how I go. But when you've kind of hit like, I guess the end goal more or less, how does that shift your practice or even just how you look at the coming events going forward, knowing that you're already qualifying for Worlds? I mean, does that shift your personal goals even harder now? I mean, I imagine it does, but
yes, of course. I mean, it shifts the goal suddenly to like becoming the world champion. Actually,
that's fair. Yeah.
So yeah, this is a new bar is set. So yeah, I don't really know how to approach this yet. I don't know the format which will be played. I don't know all the cards from the future sets, obviously. So, but yeah, I will still keep playing Lorcana, trying to be as competitive as I can, and yeah, it's really exciting. It's just really exciting.
So I mean, we've talked about a lot of emotional moments and a lot of just runs in general that, I mean, the stars have to align at a thing like this, right? Not only do you have to put in the time with your deck, but you also have to get in the reps, know the matchups and things like that. What is the feeling that you have after you finally, get to 20 lore in the last game in the finals? You're like, I've just won. Like, what is going through your mind? What are the emotions like? Is it a weight off of your shoulders? Is it just a monumental relief? Like, what's going through your head?
It was just such a relief. Yeah. Although I think the secret behind my run, I think, was actually that I didn't put too much pressure on myself from the start. So I kind of bubbled into the top cut, and as a 61st seed, so I was on the draw in all the games, and so I didn't go with the expectation to win the whole run from there. So I was like, every win is a plus, and yeah, I started to have a really good feeling in the later rounds. I knew the field was full of purple steel until some point, so the top 4 was only purple steel, right? And so I knew I was actually favored, and then yeah, I managed to get it. And yeah, the final moments, I was really tired. It was a really long day. But yeah, I'm still having goosebumps thinking about it. It's just crazy, just really crazy.
I mean, we talk about long days, right? I don't think everybody truly appreciates the stamina that it takes to get through a long event like that. I mean, you get to, top 64 and then, 32, 16, 8, 4. And it feels like the rounds never end as long as you continue winning. Did you find yourself kind of, maybe not slipping, but did you have to catch yourself from making misplays as you kept going, like say in top 4 of the finals? Were those more prone as you're getting more tired, or were you still as focused as you would have liked to have been?
I think I managed to be really focused this day. I think so that I kept a really good level. But yeah, I think there were a few slight mistakes in the end. I think in my semifinals and finals game, I think there were a few slight mistakes. Like I remember a scenario where my opponent played a Hades on me, a 5-drop Hades, and on my Demona, and I think I could have just gave him these 2 cards and win on the spot. But I was really cautious. I didn't wanna lose to like a top deck strand or something at this point, and so I was just like, okay, I got this. I don't give you any cards. I just wanna finish this slowly, and yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of it overall. I think I played to my best at this day.
No, for sure. I mean, so just touching on a little bit the preparation for it, what made you choose Blurple in general for the best of 1 format? And were there cards that you slotted in specifically for best of 1, or were you? I mean, were you approaching it from differently? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So I think, as you said, also about the confidence in a certain strategy, like the reps and the preparation and stuff. I was just overall feeling really confident with Blurple because I played a lot of Blurple in my life. I played set 8 Blurple, I played set 9 Blurple, to great success also. And now I think in set 10, the deck I think was a little bit underappreciated so far in this meta game. Because Purple Steel was the top deck basically. Also, especially in the best of 1 environment, there was a little bit more Purple Steel to be expected, I think, and it also turned out to be this way. And I just thought, yeah, if I can like dodge aggro in the first few rounds, I could end up in a field full of Purple Steel, and yeah, it worked out this way.
I would say. Yeah, well, I don't know. I want to ask you a bunch more questions. I also want to welcome in our next guest. I also want to tee it up, to segue, because this picture is like the perfect segue. Let me pull this photo up again. I'm going to start by talking about this photo. And let's to do that, let's bring in the man of this week. So you were the Rare Hunters. Here's the thing. Rare Hunters is everywhere all of a sudden, taking down Singapore the previous weekend, and this weekend, after that photo happens, coming in and taking down CCS.
Yeah.
So let's welcome in your teammate, Zan Syed, somebody who's no stranger to winning DLCs.
What up,
Zan? How you doing? Fresh off your win.
I'm doing great. I just want to say winning Singapore is a much bigger deal.
Okay, so
just a segue. World's invite a little bit better than Continental invite.
100%.
As a note, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So super congrats to my teammate Jacob. He's a killer, and I'm so glad to have him on the team.
Thank you so much, Then the pleasure is mine.
What I love about the team too is you all, like, the team came together from our perspective like fairly quickly. All of a sudden it wasn't there, and then it was there. You have people from all across the world. I mean, you have you, Jacob, and Zan, you're over here, and then in the UK with Earl, and then Lucas, and just people from everywhere. And it seems like the chemistry that you all had developed really, really quickly. And when you see things like, I don't know, the photo that I keep showing, which is just hilarious, when you see stuff going on like this, and it's not only just you two hanging out in the hotel playing, but you two having a good time and training, it's really cool to see. And I don't know, I enjoy following your team's story very much. So yeah, so DLC, the DLC happens, you finish up, and then Earl told us a little bit about the story, but what's going on here?
So yeah, I think this was actually after the morning after the DLC.
Yep.
Where San for the first time showed me his new creation, his new like really, really underappreciated deck, and I was really struggling to beat it. I played the deck that I won the DLC with, and on the paper we all thought, or I thought at least, that it would be actually a good matchup for Blabber, but it really was not. Like the monster combo deck was just so strong. Like yeah, I had the feeling it just really is ahead of the other Blabber decks actually, and this was basically known by none other than him at this point.
Yeah.
So it was really, really, really cool.
But
really
but
cool
that
thing.
testing was essential for the win, because basically at that point I had decided I wasn't going to test online anymore. So I really needed Jacob's expertise in Blurple to validate my testing, right? Because I could be beating other players, but Jacob has proven to be an exceptional Blurple player, which gives the most amount of validation that matchup is actually good rather than being bad, because I had originally gone to Rare Hunter shop in set 9 at the beginning of set 9, and I started working on the deck in set 9. And during that time, it was kind of a meme deck, and it could not beat Blurple at all. And I just kept losing to every person in the shop playing Blurple, and I was like, okay, this deck is not there just yet. And what is this deck called? I still don't know.
You named it Combo, which is a terrible name.
I just put something short in there.
That was your opportunity.
Well, I honestly didn't know I was gonna win.
If we can coin a name for this deck here and clip it by the end of the night, I'll be excited. But.
Yeah,
a whale of a time.
The whale of a time. Nothing is like really stuck. This morning I was talking to Earl about it, and I was like, Earl, what does OTK mean? Does it mean one true king? And he was like, no, it means one turn kill. I was like, oh, okay, great. So a lot of people have been calling it Monstro OTK. What else? I have no idea. I'm like the most basic namer ever. I'm like, okay, I don't want to make this any confusing for anybody. I'll just call it Amethyst Amber combo.
Well,
I think
so a
people
little
will
bit, can you just take us back to when you were kind of deciding what to bring to Charlie's? Because it feels like you just kind of had a snap decision moment where you're like, I think this is what's going to be what's going to take me to the top. Like, what kind of sparked that push?
So at the beginning of set 10, I knew that this deck was good now because I knew the purple shell was good. So I just needed the purple shell to continue to develop and figure out what are the core cards that I like so I can build a shell that's good on its own. And basically, as Jacob was winning the tournament, I went back to the hotel room to figure out the last one of the last pieces, and that was what do you call it, the action Horseman Strikes.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was the last card I needed in order to flip most of the purple matchups. It was like in one of my early iterations, and the reason why I had to cut it was because the deck itself was so bad that even though the card itself was good, I needed to figure out the core. So I took it out of the deck and then started trying to make a core that could compete against other purple shells. And then I brought it back literally the day Jacob's winning the tournament. And so I was playing online and trying to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do? And once I figured out the Horseman Strikes, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this down. I don't want anybody else to catch wind of this deck, and so I'm just gonna resort to only paper testing. And so I tested against Nathan from Club Lorcana podcast, and I was just beating him, and he was playing Purple Steel. And so I was like, okay, first test, that's good. Now that Jacob's won, Blurple is going to be an important matchup that I'm going to have to beat in order for this deck to be relevant. And once Jacob and I started playing, that's the first time was on that suitcase. And then later on, it was at the airport. We just had the realization that, oh, this is actually a good matchup, maybe even a really good matchup. And then I was like, okay, I already feel confident about the other matchups. The only matchups I'm kind of scared of are like hyper aggro matchups like dogs. But I have a plan for them, and that is like to be a little bit more aggressive. So one of our other teammates had suggested the card 2-drop Iago, and I was playing Raja at the time. And so I basically spent the last week thinking about that card, the pros and cons, and I felt like people were going to bring a lot of anti-illusion cards. And so I felt like that trade-off was really smart. And so that card had enough impact that I would not have won the tournament without trading the Rajas for the 2-drop Iagos.
So was it just for specifically like the dogs matchup? Because I think throughout the day we were watching your run. Because obviously after I think it was round 2, everybody's like, "Oh, hey, like Zan's on Monstro combo," and it was like, "Oh, okay, it's Monstro combo. We've all seen it." But then you just kept winning, and then you kept winning, and then there was the dogs matchup, and like he beat dogs. His deck's not supposed to do that.
I 2-0'd it. I was like, okay.
So was Iago specifically just for that, or did it shine in other places?
Yeah, it took out John Silver twice, so that was pretty good. Besides John Silver, it took out an Alice and then survived. So yeah, it was just doing work pretty much the entire tournament. It was just the fact that I chose to go with the 0 illusion route that ended up being really nice, because there was a lot of green blue players that chose to bring a lot of improvises and other cards of the sort, like 12 of those type of effects. And if I had even one illusion, the punish would have been enough for me to have lost those matches.
Yeah.
So it really came down to like the shell was really delicate, and it still is very delicate. People are going to if you take the deck and you even change 2 cards, the balance and the feel of the deck can feel completely off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you're talking about, right? I mean, the Amethyst Shell is very powerful in and of itself, but you have to pick the correct cards for the room you're in. I mean, you're just alluding to the fact, had you brought Illusions over Iago, I mean, it could have changed the day completely to be not in your favor. So I also don't think it's a particularly easy deck to pilot either. I think, huge congrats and huge shout out to you for piloting as well as you did throughout the day, definitely showing your reps on it.
Thank you.
Were there any moments that you feel like you look back on, you're like, maybe there was a more correct line here, or
The whole day.
Really?
Whole day. I lost round 1, and
Yeah.
it was complete pilot judgment. Like, it was my judgment that was off, and I had to recalibrate. It was the hardest match I played in the entire tournament, round 1, and yeah, I basically made a judgment call. My opponent was like staggering a little bit, playing green blue, and they had inked 3 malicious MMMs, and I was like, they were thinking about singing a song with their Cinderella, and I was convinced that it was You're Welcome. And I had the combo, but I had to combo the following turn. Right? So what that means is I put the combo pieces in my hand, I'll draw the last card next turn, and I'll win. But I decided to play around You're Welcome instead of the third MMM plus, the fourth MMM plus Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Because I knew about the Prince Philip because they had played a what do you call it? A Basil to drop to bounce it back to their hand. And so I was them like pausing and trying to figure it out. They were confused. And I was like, I think that the card that they're thinking about super hard, it has to be You're Welcome, because there are way more You're Welcomes left than MMMs. And so if I go down to less cards, I lose the game because they can just You're Welcome and deck me out because I'll draw 2 cards. So I couldn't go down to that 1 card because then I would draw 2 and go down to 0. So it was just like a very complicated situation, and it was my judgment that left it. But I should have just acknowledged that my opponent had no idea what was happening, and they were so confused and so lost that that they wouldn't even see that line. So I should have just not played around it, because what ended up happening was I had a Demona and a Monstro on the location. And what that means is that the location was going to allow me to draw another card the next turn, which would get me down to 0 cards to allow me to combo.
Yeah.
And so so I forced my opponent to have it for the rest of the day and just played like almost close to perfect the rest of the tournament. I would say there's 1 turn I would take back in top 16 and 1 turn I would take back in top 4. Like 1 action, not even a turn, just 1 action. But yeah, but the deck is like, you have to do a lot of pre-planning. It's the most pre-planned deck I've ever played, because I'm representing the combo with just 2 cards. And if you've noticed, I've played a lot of games where I didn't ever go for the combo at all, and I ink both pieces. And all those decisions are like, I pre-decided those before I even played the tournament, what I was going to do in every single matchup. So yeah, like, this is not, I think what people's original approach with Monstro has been is that it's this free deck that has this free combo. But the challenge with the deck is to have a deck that's good enough to have the combo as an accidental combo. And so that's what I think differentiates my build from the way other people were building it. And so once you start playing the deck normally, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, the deck is forcing me to combo, then that's when you start to be like, oh, is this deck actually broken? Because if you watch some of my games, it's like Zan was winning the regular game. And then
the old-fashioned way. Yeah.
Exactly. When I was starting to lose, I was like, okay, let me just go for the Hail Mary. But my opponent was like losing in that battle. They don't have time to deal with Monstra as well. Right. And so every time that happened, you would see that I played a Monstro and I have one card in hand, and we all know it's the combo piece because every other card was dedicated to the regular plan, and that canceled them out.
Mhm.
And if they just held that Hades, I made them feel so bad for keeping that Hades in their hand that when they played it, it looked embarrassing. And then I would play the Monstro after and still win.
So I mean, that's something really interesting to touch on, like the differences between this version and other versions. This was the deck when this set first came out. Humble really was like pushing to us personally. He was like, I'm having a lot of fun with this. But we kind of, like you were saying, we in the early days we were like, well, it's kind of a meme. It's not quite there yet. And then we see it this weekend, and he was like 16 cards off from your finalist, which I mean is essentially a completely different deck. So I mean, it just goes to show how much you refined the differences between the early days of like, okay, well now we're just trying to force the combo versus I have a really solid Amethyst core, and when I hit certain game states, I'm able to just win from zero. And you have to, like, you've already expended your other resources, so you don't have anything left to stop my Hail Mary combo.
Exactly. And just to give you an idea of how long I spent on certain cards, me deciding between Raja and Yago was 1 week. Every
single night
impacted
there's like
whether I
photos
wanted
above the bed where it's like, looking at one, looking at the other.
It's like, I'm telling you right now, it's one of the most delicate shells that I've ever built, because it still needs to be able to combo when you have the combo, right? And you don't want to have too many of those combo pieces, because some of the combo pieces are just really bad cards.
Yeah, which doesn't further the regular game plan at all. It's literally just for the OTK.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. Liam, is there any other burning questions? Like, as we're kind of, we're getting to time.
Yeah.
Is there something else that you wanted to like touch on? Any other just
Well, I do
burning
want to
thoughts
ask.
you wanted to bring up?
There is one more like burning question that I have. And to turn it to Jacob first. So the scenario is, you go into Singapore. You're like, all right, the right deck for this. And yes, it's you're playing it for the, the one game format and all that, but you're a Blurple player and you're like, it's Blurple's moment. I'm going to bring Blurple in. The Blurple's good in the meta. And you win the DLC, validating Blurple as, one of the best decks in the format and, the right call for the moment. And then like 5 minutes later, you go to the hotel and Zan brings out this deck and beats you up with it. And then goes and wins Charlie's. And now the whole world has seen this deck. So that's the world we're living in now, the post CCS world. What do you think that means for the meta? How do you think people are going to react? And how do you react now, knowing that this deck is out there, it's been exposed? If you were to go play in a tournament next weekend, what do you think you would see, and how would you react?
I mean, to be really fair, I don't know if this deck is as good in the hands of an average player than it is in Zan's hands. Because I think fair. I mean, yeah, that's true. And any deck is better in a person's hands who knows who knows the perfect lines, right? But yeah, I think the deck is quite complicated. Like, you need to know when to ink your combo pieces, when to hold on to them, right? It's not that simple. But yeah, I think the deck is cracked. So we will see it, obviously. And yeah, I think, as San also said, dogs is a pretty good way to counter it, I think. So maybe people will actually capitalize even more on the Yago, or we will see a even bigger rise of the dogs. I think they're already upticking, though. I think already maybe my win in Singapore also had a little bit of impact on that, but I think the dogs deck is on the rise, I think.
And didn't dogs just win in Bologna as well? Am I right?
Exactly. Yes. And
Yeah.
fun fact: the DLC, the CCQ winning list in Bologna also played the card the Horseman Strikes.
Yeah.
So
That's
both decks winning on the weekend play the Horseman Strikes.
That's
That's
true.
Turns
I-
out a card that says
Get your
innovation.
copies.
Yeah, it turns out a card that says banish evasive in a very evasive heavy meta is really, really good.
Yeah. Get your epics now. There's an epic version, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we pre-ordered them.
Of course. Yeah. Fascinating. Very cool. Zan, what are your thoughts?
So my next challenge is to basically teach people the art of the Monstro combo. So that's my next Metafy guide.
There you go.
Yep.
Well,
Coming out tomorrow.
yeah.
Oh, actually tomorrow?
Yeah. Coming out
hey.
tomorrow.
How do you
Look at
turn
him.
that
He was
quick?
pre-planned. It was already
Yeah,
pre-planned. Don't even. He wrote this like a month ago.
That's fair. I wonder whatever the Metafy guides or drafts are kicking around there.
Just waiting for the deck to top. So he's like, guys, I knew it all along.
Yep, here it is. Okay. One more story. I have to. I'm sure you've heard the story by now. I tweeted about it, but a judge was forced to eat a monstro.
Yeah.
For those,
Forgot about
for those
I
who
haven't
hear-
seen the video. I still haven't seen the video.
I've not seen the video either. I know it exists, but at the beginning of the day, there was a discussion because people knew this deck was there, and some people had to have the combo explained. And during that conversation, somebody said it's I won't name names, but somebody said this is not a good deck. Like, you won't have to worry about it later on. If it makes the top cut, not even wins. If it makes the top cut, I will eat a monstro. And he was true to his word. A monstro was eaten. So
At least he was a man of his word, and he did it.
I was not a part of this transaction at all.
Zan wants it to be known he does not condone the eating of Lorcana cards.
Neither do the Illumineers for that credit. It is not healthy.
Rare Hunter Shop, not England, not there, not part of this.
Cannot endorse the eating of Lorcana cards. But yeah, so that happened. That was a fun happening at the tournament. But yeah, I do wonder if dogs were already popular, and if the meta just tries to get faster to run under. I think that has to be the line. Also, the burn deck probably. I wonder if that sees a little more popularity. The green purple burn.
I for sure think Emerald Amethyst is like. I mean, we saw it all over CCS. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, Zach Bivens came up to us like, "I lost to a $15 deck."
Yeah. Last thing is I did post some name suggestions for your Zan. You don't have to settle anything tonight, but for your consideration, people have been suggesting Moby Duck. The only downside there's only one, like the duck is part of the combo, but I think that's a clever name. So Moby Duck for your consideration. Also, Depth Charge, Whale of Fortune, Leviathan Loop, Combo in the Deep, Whale Breaker, Free Willy, Whale, actually, Circle of Whale, or Monster Mash. Just some ideas, just throwing it out there. If you want to get a catchy name for it.
Yeah, Jeremy was saying people were really into Moby Ducky.
Moby Ducky?
There's only one duck, but I like Moby Ducky.
It does. All right.
Jacob, is there one you like?
I also really liked We Know the Whale.
Oh,
it was. I saw it in the comments somewhere. That was a funny one, I think.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
We know the whale.
I can't believe that wasn't on the list. Come on, Liam. What
I know. Well, by the time I made the list, I saw this comment afterwards, and I actually highlighted it because I was like, I should have put it up, but I wasn't going to go back into Canva. So maybe I'll put up a poll. Maybe I'll put up a poll, Zan, tonight. Moby Ducky or We Know the Whale, and see where people vote. Because I just think I am a fan of like fun names where you can trace the origin back. Kiwi Birds is an example, or Diggity Hole. I don't know. So, and your combo was a terrible name. You should have thought this through ahead of time.
No, if you saw my name for it, you'd be even worse. It's like Amber Amethyst combo.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I have the deck list, the printout that was given to me in the finals. I kept it. And it just says on the top combo.
Yeah, combo. I can keep it so plain and simple.
Listen, I mean, sometimes you can't mess with simplicity and how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, and in deck lists, you can either create a fun name or you can use them to send a message. Jonathan Lamb's deck name was "I Wanna Be Tiago," so on his Amethyst Steel. So there you go.
Well, he did better than Tiago this time. So.
That is true. That is true. So he was Tiago. I think he ran into you, didn't he? That was a long game. No.
Me and Tiago did not play. I played again.
No, you and Jonathan.
You and Jonathan.
Yeah. I mean, last 2 rounds were good. I mean, it's Jonathan Williams and Jonathan Lamb.
Very good matches. Like peak Lorcana. Enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, the deck did most of the work.
Fair. Well, Jacob, thanks for joining us. And the latest DLC winner, congratulations on your Worlds invite. It's absolutely amazing. And
thank you so much.
Like it makes me happy. Any closing thoughts? Any closing thoughts from this weekend? Any thoughts on Lorcana? I don't know.
Final shout outs to do.
Final shout outs.
Shout out to my team. Rare Hunters. Still amazing to like win the first major with the team. Still blown away. I'm also working on pushing out more content. I also want to work on a purple Metafy. I just really didn't find enough time so far after Singapore. I was basically immediately going back to Italy to compete in the CCQ. But yeah, I stay heavily focused on Lorcana for the next year also. Really looking forward to Worlds. And yeah, thanks again, Rare Hunter Shop, for making all of this possible, basically. And thanks so much for having me on the show.
Thanks for staying up until all hours of the morning. Like I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's basically already in the morning now. Yeah, stayed up like half of the night, something like that. I got a little bit of rest though, but
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really means a lot when you all over there, you and Earl and folks stay up to do this with us. So thank you. And I will make sure to put a link to your Twitter handle in the show notes as I tried to do. So if you're watching this later, you can find a link there to follow Jacob on social media. Keep an eye out for his Metafy. And Jacob, when you get that Metafy up or any other content, like send me a note so I can amplify that for folks, because I know now having won a CCQ and just being an amazing player, an amazing person all around, people are eager to follow you and to pick your brain and see what you're doing. So send me a note when you get that stuff up. And oh man, 5 for Jacob. That's wild. 5 o'clock. Zan, any closing thoughts from you after an incredible weekend?
Yeah, I mean, thank you to my sponsor, Rare Hunters. I mean, it's been an incredible journey already. I mean, thank you to you guys. I mean, we can't do this without you guys. You guys are the historians. I mean, this has been such an incredible journey. Honestly, I was pretty down. I was like, am I even gonna get qualified for anything this time around? And things are turning around. So hopefully I will find my way back to Worlds with Jacob.
I'm sure you will. At the very least, it feels right to have you in Continentals. At the very least, getting that invite, because it wouldn't feel right without you there. So now all is right with the world. And we want you battle it out there at the very least. So thanks so much. And Club Lorcana podcast coming out tomorrow.
Yep. Podcast is out tomorrow at noon Eastern.
All right. And I'm sure you'll find many more details there. Zan and his teammates or his podcast mates competing at CCS. So you'll hear all kinds of awesome stories there. If you're not listening to Club Lorcana, what are you doing? You're missing out. So follow that, and then your Metafy guide to follow tomorrow as well. So
yep,
that's awesome. I Not gonna lie, I subscribe to your Edify off and on, but I definitely subscribe to it before Charlie's to pick some nuggets out for the commentatings. So your some of your nuggets of wisdom were evident throughout the weekend as we were on the broadcast. So I appreciate you very much. But that's it. Logan, any other questions? Any other things?
No, we hit all the things. Thanks both of you for being here. Obviously, like seriously, wonderful performances, both of you. Excellent qualifications. Great season so far. We have a lot more to go. It's going to be a good season.
Absolutely. I do have to give, if you'll forgive me, just like 60 seconds, a couple shout outs. One, shout out to our Patreon supporters for helping to make this show happen. We appreciate all of you. Subscriptions are not cheap. And thank you for supporting us on Patreon. A link to our Patreon is in the show notes, so you can check that out there. Last thing, I do want to, two more things. I want to shout out the USA Today article. If you haven't read it on Disney Lorcana, you should read it. USA Today highlighting Disney Lorcana challenges. And you also have some fantastic quotes in there from Rebecca Quest and from Alan of Mammoth Club highlighting DLCs. It's a great thing, and it'll give some awesome exposure to the game. You should all check it out on USA Today. Lastly, I have to give a shout out and a plug for Miami TCG Con, January 17th and 18th. This year. It is the weekend after Richmond, but there's going to be a Lorcana tournament there hosted by PPG. Most likely, we will broadcast it if enough people sign up. We need 100 people, and it will be streamed. There's going to be 10 Lorcana artists there. I will be there. Some other folks will be there. And somebody is flying in from the UK to be there as well, maybe setting up a little layer of his own stateside. So if you're interested in meeting those folks or competing in another Lorcana tournament after Richmond, 17th to 18th in Miami, you can get tickets now for the tournament. I believe it's $40, but that also gives you access to the convention. So get it on your calendar, 17th, 18th in Miami. And other than that, we will see you all.